Hello again to another Agricolor Reaction. Today we will be watching how AI is revealing the language of the birds. There's a lot of controversy about the AI, what they can do, what they can't, but there's the good and the bad, so let's just watch I'm presuming what's something that's gonna be good in the AI. Why does...
They surprise us. Every time we try to look at something, we find something new.
They are so similar to us. They have this society where which the basic unit is a family.
Carrion crows are found throughout the world, and they are intelligent, adaptable animals. And they normally live a fairly solitary lifestyle, either alone or in pairs. But in northern Spain, the crows are different. These crows form family groups that stick together.
The offspring stay with their parents for up to 4 years, actually. They share the natal territory, they stay together on the natal territory, and they form these stable family groups. What they do while they stay on the natal territory with their parents is help them with the new offspring in the following spring. So they cooperate in tasks like chick provisioning, territorial defense, defending the nest, the chicks,
That's cool.
and providing them for food.
For the offspring is a kind of haven. They are tolerated, they have a safe place to stay because the parents look for predators and defend the territory against predators. They have food, so they have a really nice place like Italian offspring. They stay very well at home with mom that prepares the food and clean the house.
These researchers established that this unusual social behaviour was not genetically driven, but rather it was learned. And the shared responsibilities required some degree of coordination. It became clear that the team would need to better understand how the crows were communicating.
To collect data on vocalizations, we used a small electronic device called BioLogger. It has got a microphone and an accelerometer and a magnetometer. So the microphone records the vocalizations, and the accelerometer and magnetometers record the movements of the bird. Hopefully we will use the data from this device not only to analyze vocalizations, but also to use the movement data to know what the crows were doing at the time of the vocalization. So we attached all this stuff on the crow using a piece of balloon like this one. And this is because the balloon degrades with time in about 3 weeks, a month and a half, and eventually breaks down and drops.
This provides the team with plenty of data. The next step was to sort through it.
I'm doing the chicks vocalization. What kind of information may pass between vocalization of the chicks to the adults? Have the sounds, spectrogram with the sounds, and in this part here is a table where I annotate the different sounds. So here this works. We play it, and we hear a sound. And then if we think it's a chick vocalization, we annotate. For example, that one is the chicks swallowing food, that they do a really loud noise.
One of the first things the researchers discovered was that the crows often make softer sounds that are only audible up close.
The very interesting thing is that they use this kind of soft calls a lot. They have a large amount of pretty similar soft calls, and they are talking to each other all the time. They also have this long distance call, which are the calls typically known for crows. So if I ask you what a crow does, you will say "Krah, krah, krah." But that is quite rare, actually. Most of the time they just do sounds like this.
These softer calls could prove to be a rich source of information, but also increases the volume of data that the researchers have to deal with. Enter the Earth Species Project, a group who are using the work from the University of Lyon to build an artificial intelligence that can analyse and sort the hundreds of thousands of vocalizations collected by the team.
What you can see here is the big cloud of crow vocalizations and the initial classification of call that has been done by the artificial intelligence.
Right now, I'm collaborating with Victoria and Daniela with the classification process. I listen through the different piles within, and I go through all of the sounds, and I put them inside one of these existing piles, and if then we come together and agree on a new classification. If the sounds are unique enough, we put them into a different category, or if we can decide to sometimes merge two categories which are very similar. For example, take a look at some of the very unique vocalizations that we have come across, where there are sounds that we can't really pin down and put anywhere else. So there's some really unique sounds here, for example. And this is probably one of my favorites. Which is, you wouldn't expect a crow to be able to make some sense as this.
This is just preliminary work. Once we have done this possible virtual repertoire that makes sense for us, we must go to the field and see if it makes sense for crows. So it will open a phase of experimentation in the field, which will be, I think, very fascinating and interesting, and try to see if what we think there are different calls actually means different things for the animals.
From whales to elephants, AI is increasingly being used to shed light on animal communication. And this team hopes that their program may do the same for crows, providing them with a unique insight into how they build these family groups, and maybe giving us a way to communicate in some basic way with these beautiful birds.
That's cool. I mean, that's brilliant. Like it's possible to do something like that. And maybe in another 100 years or something, we'll be able to have a conversation with crows or other birds and animals. Who knows? I don't know. Talk from the science fiction, but you know. But can you imagine like sitting there and just like listening to the sounds that the crows make and just categorize them? I kind of would like to do it, and kind of not, you know. So, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.